Recording has been started.
All right. Who would like to do recap?
I would love to do recap.
Go for it.
Last session, we did a little, we started with combat, right? Or had we just finished combat?
We had
started with combat.
Yeah.
So we started with combat against the assassin vines, and oh boy, those vines can assassin. They weren't lying. Julius nearly bit the dust to some vines.
Love that for him.
But he's fine. We're good. We're gaming. And we discovered that it appeared that either the devils were setting a trap for the skulls or the skulls were setting a trap for the devil. The point is, all of the people dead were criminals. All of them got by the assassin vines, and nobody is happy. But it looks like there was a deliberate trap being set. Aster talked to a young lady who
was dead.
who was dead. Yes, crucially, she was dead. A young lady who is from Yumsong, and well, she was doing some crime, doing some work, as you do when you're a criminal, and told us that I don't even remember the specifics of what she told us. I think we got all the information that I just previously said, mostly from her. She also said she didn't want her family or anybody that she knew back in Yumsong to know what she died doing. So, tragic end to a tragic life. But then we went to Granny's house, and it was cool and cute and small. And it was fun to look around. And then Irene's great-granddaughter, Ara, came by, was very glad to see her grandmother, was a little hesitant to see everybody else, because I don't think she has any idea what to make of you guys.
Yeah.
I think she's a little sus, as is reasonable. She just happened to see people rock up outside her grandma's house, realized that it was her grandma's traveling companions. Y'all are a little sketch, I'm not gonna lie. And so she's a little concerned, I think.
I can't imagine why.
I can't imagine why. But you guys did you were very polite, and I appreciate that, and Granny appreciates that a lot. And then she had to go because she's got like errands and shit and like a normal person, and Granny wanted to show everybody around town and talk a little bit about that and get everybody settled in the house. And then we went to her great-grandson's house, and her great-grandson Ando lives more in the city center in a very, 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 very nice house with very, very, very nice things. And
Gold everywhere.
he's quite wealthy, it seems. He has a bouncer, and he is French. And Granny was very, very excited to see him. He was excited to see Granny. Julius rolled to see if he was attracted, and he kind of was, and then he opened his mouth and he was French, and it was like, God damn it.
Yeah, the Paland accent really got to him.
Paland accent killed the attraction, which is the funniest thing that could have possibly happened. Some people kept trying to chat with Ando during the visit, and he kept putting his foot down and saying that he was having a lovely visit with his grandmother, and he was not going to deal with their shit right now, which I personally staunchly believe is because he was playing dodgeball with the polycule, and they wanted to know when he was going to get back so they could finish the goddamn game of dodgeball. That he has his priorities straight, which is that his grandmother was there. So,
damn
other
straight.
people have other speculations about why Ando
he's a criminal,
behaves the way that he does, and is the way that he is, and has his wealth. But I will not be repeating those because it's slanderous to my baby grandson.
I have a sixth sense.
You smell a criminal, and you're like, that one.
I know him. I know him.
But yeah, the party then was heading out and heading back to Irene's house, I think was where we left off.
Yeah. Think so too.
Okay. You all are able to return home or at least to Irene's home, after your evening with Ando.
Very good evening with Anda. With really expensive wine.
Oh yeah.
I forgot
Really
to mention that.
expensive one.
Yeah.
Super expensive wine.
Julia's commented on the nice wine.
And you all sort of Tetris yourself into sleeping positions, as you kind of have to.
Just like being in the bubble.
Just like being in the bubble. But also, Irene, you are able to sleep in your own bed for the first time in a hot minute.
Yes. It's very nice.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. She's got a really nice bed because she needs, like, you know, the memory foam for her osteos. Like, we gotta cradle the old joints. It's like plush. It's also super tiny. It's like a little doll bed.
Oh.
Oh.
It's great.
And the morning comes to Yum-song. And with the exception of Aura having said she was going to come by in the morning, a free day for you all, at least so far.
Nice.
Breakfast is nice. The kitchen is tiny, so I'm sure Irene is the one to make it, if only because small.
Yeah, Irene seems almost like she has fully regressed into just your stereotypical grandmother, by which I mean she's become my grandmother. So she's making breakfast for you and, like, you know, handing out plates of French toast that's already, like, cut up, you know, into the little bite-sized pieces, like, you know, with the jam and stuff on it, so that you guys don't choke. You know, just the things you do for your kids, for your grandkids when they're, like, you know, 5. And just, you know, make sure everybody has a plate, a place to sit, who wants milk, who wants water, that sort of thing.
God, I love her.
Obsessed.
If she wants any help with anything, Julius will help her.
No, that's all right, dear. Nice to be home and doing things at home. I'm just getting settled in.
Are you sure I can at least take the teapot?
Oh, I suppose if you insist.
He is going to take the teapot and bring it to the table. Or wherever we can eat.
Floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it is kind of arranging yourselves around the dining table, the floor. There's like another table in the living room that you can kind of pull over and combine.
Somebody gets a Julius tail laid in their lap at some point, probably.
And as you are all settling in for breakfast, Aura does indeed let herself in, with the key that she has, because she has a key. And with her, she has brought some groceries for you.
God
Irene.
bless. Love groceries.
And as she is helping put them away for you, Irene,
Yes.
she sort of, by the way, I spoke to your, I saw one of your friends at market, one of your knitting circle, the young one.
Oh, Ina.
Ina, yes.
Yes.
I mentioned you were home. She was very excited and said they were all getting together for a scrapbooking circle this morning.
Oh, wonderful. That's so exciting. Yes, I should go over. Did she say whose house it was at?
Hers.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good. Oh, I have so many things to show them.
I'm sure that would be delightful.
Yes, it will be good. I have so much, I mean, you know, just scenery that I hadn't seen before or hadn't seen in, you know, 150 years. It's just so good to meet all sorts of little sketches and paintings. Oh, I'm very excited. Thank you, dearie.
Of course. And she looks over to the dining room where you all are packed in tightly. And do your friends have any plans for the day?
Julius looks
not
at
that
the
I know
rest. I mean, we didn't necessarily have anything planned.
Oh, well, it's a small town, but I'm sure you'll find something.
Julius shrugs a little bit. Always be nice to buy gifts for the folks, I suppose.
The folks.
There's several for him.
The folks, aka High Priestess Inoue Satoshi.
His mom, his other mom, and his dad.
And
sibling, yes.
You all are very good at keeping yourselves entertained. I can show you around some place a little later, if you'd like, or now, whichever you'd like. I can show you some more. We saw a little bit yesterday on the way over to Anders, of course.
That's true. When is
I got the sense your friends were meeting pretty early this morning.
Oh, so I should go now.
Probably soon-ish. I can stay and do dishes if you'd like.
That's so sweet of you, dearie.
Does this seem like her purposely trying to get Granny out of the house so she can corner us?
Roll an insight.
I feel like that's what she's doing right now.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's a good roll. Hold on. Insight, right?
Yes.
That would be an unnatural 20.
That is so the energy.
Yeah, Julius had the feeling. Julius will just give her a slight smile and just say, "Oh, we can always help you. We are the guests."
That would be very kind, actually.
He gives her a nod.
Well, goodness, is it chilly out? Should I go get my sweater on if I'm going over there?
Oh, no, you'll be fine.
Okay, alright. Where's Snowball? Snowball!
Snowball, makes one of her noises from the next room.
Creature.
Literally a creature. Yeah, Granny accepting Aura's statements at face value. She's gonna, go get her little scrapbooking supplies and scoop up a snowball and drape her around her neck and head out. It's with, a last little, are you all going to be alright? Do you need anything? Do you want me to pick anything up on my way back? Is there anything you need? Can I get anything?
Just enjoy time with your friends. We'll be alright.
Thank you, Julius.
Of course.
Granny out.
Granny out. So, Irene, you are very quickly able to make your way over to Ina's house.
Yes.
Where she, Quincy, Hoyonsu, and Etta are all already there.
Yay, okay. It was not a lie.
It was not a
just
lie.
A conveniently timed scrapbooking meeting.
Yeah. They are all excited and delighted to see you.
Irene is ecstatic. She is so thrilled. I think it's we haven't really discussed how Snowball feels about the scrapbooking club. What's important to me is that she acts like she's dead. She's fully a scarf on Granny's neck because she doesn't have to be good kitty, nice kitty with them, but she likes them, so she's just in her most natural state, which is looking like a roadkill.
Oh my god.
God bless. You do get a circle of hugs.
Yay. Yes. Irene will distribute, because she picked up trinkets along the way for them as well, as she saw if they were interested. So distribute, just a couple little things for each one of them, and ask how they have all been, and how have things been here, and etc.
Yes. They are all delighted. Fucking thrilled. And They very quickly make a space for you at Ina's table. They seem to have kind of, you know them.
Yes.
They get kind of all sort of stuck in their patterns, and the way that they had arranged themselves while you were gone, they kind of pull apart a space for you.
Excellent.
Their conversation turns very, very quickly to sort of daily chats, right? Quincy talks a bit about his husband, and his husband is doing fine, but his knees are getting worse, and he's starting to worry about this season, the fall season for the tomatoes, and whether or not he's gonna be able to do them on his own, you know. And it seems more like Quincy's worried about it.
Yeah.
More than Quincy's husband.
Irene offers, if he doesn't have any of that balm that is good for aches and pains, Irene will bring him some next time she comes over.
Oh, and he says that would be lovely. Ina at some point starts talking about heading across town and picking up supplies. It seems while you were gone, her knitting interest has kind of faded. And she started to get into felting, actually.
Oh, that's very exciting. Irene is very excited to hear that.
And she says she's thinking about heading across town today to go pick up some more felt supplies, and Etta just kind of says something a little odd. That in which she tells Ina, be careful going over there, darling, And Ina goes, I know, but it's the best place in town. And Ada goes, I know it's the best place in town, but that side of the neighborhood's gotten... And she kind of makes an abortive little gesture. And Ina, in that very, younger woman kind of way, does sort of roll her eyes. And Ada gets a little huffy about it.
Oh, well, what's all going on over on that side of town, then?
And Hyun-soo just kind of Ada starts to kind of speak, and Hyun-soo just kind of, oh, you know how it gets with the youngins sometimes, Irene. They get jumpy. And Ada goes, it's not the same thing as teenage rabble. And Hyun-soo goes, oh, it always is. It always is around here. You always get so up in arms about it. And Ada looks a little put out.
As per usual.
As per usual. Little huffy. And Ina also kind of also looks a little offended. Because she knows that she is still of the age that Hyun-soo considers the youngins.
Yeah.
And Quincy kind of cuts in and goes, no, okay, we're not talking, why don't we move on, okay? And the tension sort of dissipates again over paper folding techniques. But that is Irene's morning and or day. And I know you have to leave soonish.
I do. I just want to I want to tell everybody else a little bit about the scrapbooking club, which is that it is Irene, Quincy, and Hyun-soo are old as shit, for their various races. Ida is like getting up there, and Ina is like
20.
Nice.
So you've got her she's like, I'm going to spend my days hanging out with old people and scrapbooking and knitting and crocheting and felting and doing origami and calligraphy and felting. Like,
I love her.
That for her.
Oh.
She is the best. They're all the best, but I
Wonderful.
need you guys to understand the makeup of the scrapbooking group, which is a bunch of old people and this one 20-year-old.
Sometimes that's the friend group that it is.
She's gotta do a little craft, and another little craft, and another little craft.
Maybe another little craft just in case.
She could do another little craft.
Yeah.
Haven't made a calendar lately. Let's make
If
one
I
of those.
introduce her to Aster, she's gonna jump onto pottery like nobody's business.
Oh yeah, she would love pottery.
I love that.
She would love pottery. That's the nature of Ina. She will see a craft and be like, could dapple on that.
She has
Love
ADHD. Anyway.
She does.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the ADHD mood.
Irene is perfectly content, not concerned at all, because she knows that her great-grandchildren will behave themselves, referring to both Ara and the party. She will happily spend as long as the Scrap Happy group is hanging out, just over there doing her little scrapbooking.
Hell yeah.
And goodbye, PK.
Hmm?
And before we get wrapped up in the next thing, I hope you have fun at your showing.
I will.
Yes.
I'm gonna stick around and listen to you guys a little bit longer because I have a little bit of time yet. But
Yes.
Yay.
until then, you guys are not supervised. Pretend like I'm not here.
Oh boy.
Who's
The rest
PK?
of you.
I don't know who that is.
I never
Anyways.
met PK before in your life. Sorry.
Oh, definitely not.
Irene's. Oh, Joe is here.
Joe!
Joe, you're muted.
Joe?
Yeah, I muted deliberately in case you guys were in the middle of something.
We actually were just transitioning scenes.
Yes.
I got Irene
Timing.
to her. PK isn't here for session zone.
Her little scrapbooking hangout time, where she has a great time off screen, and I get to think my little thoughts about the scrapbooking that she does,
Yeah.
and
The
then I
rest-
leave.
The rest of you are currently in Irene's house with Ara,
Yep. We sure are.
and as Irene heads out the door, Ara continues collecting and washing dishes. Is willing to let whoever come up and sort of sidle up and start drying as well.
Yeah, Julius had offered before, so he will start with this.
She is silent
Yep,
for a couple of minutes.
he figures so. He's just gonna let her figure out her thoughts and what she wants to say.
And then she sort of clears her throat, and she goes, "So, you lot are adventurers, then? Or mercenaries, you didn't clarify."
I'd probably say adventurers. We don't necessarily work for any organization, and mercenary work is a bit heavy-handed.
So, what sort of adventuring do you do?
He, stops from his drawing and thinks a little bit. Solve problems. You know, the usual of fight a monster here, kill some wolves that are ravaging some people there, that sort of thing. Usually on destinations that either people are interested in going to or otherwise.
And my grandmother, she kind of pauses again, like she's trying to figure out what to say. And she's including everyone here in the conversation, crucially.
Yeah, I feel like Julius is probably passing off something after he's dried it so somebody can put it away.
What does my grandmother do while you're hunting wolves and the like?
Irene gave us, like, the lowdown not to talk about this, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yes,
She
said,
did.
Do not tell my grandchildren that I do adventuring things.
Yes.
Okay.
And
mainly
she said
stays.
to, like, focus on, no, she sees the sun.
Yeah. It's mainly just, stays in the back as we take care of business.
So she does follow you in, then, for some degree.
Mostly staying with a wagon or in town, for the most part. I mean, the roads aren't exactly safe,
No, of course not.
But it is safest for her to be close to us.
There's a difference between being on the road and hunting a wolf.
Exactly. But it's not like we, have her do so.
Make a deception check.
Yeah! We don't make her do anything. She chose to hunt those wolves.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, that was... So you said deception, right?
Yes.
I think my deception is a +8, right? Yes. So that's a 19.
Oh. You very much sort of get the sense that she is sort of washing you out of the corner of her eye, even as she is doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And sort of glancing at some of you as well. Like looking over at Nin when she spoke. And she says, she kind of... I'm trying to figure out how she responds to this. Well, I suppose staying by the cart is still different as well, so that's not... Gran has told me that I worry about her too much, but I'm sure you've noticed that she is quite old, and age has a way of doing things to people. Sometimes.
That is true.
And whenever she goes on her little trips, I worry about her. And I don't think I am insane to do so.
No, I think it is perfectly normal to, worry about your family, especially those getting up in years. We do what we can to keep them safe.
Well, I appreciate you doing so while she has been with you, but she's just gotten home from vacation. I don't see her needing to head out again soon. She ought to rest.
That is true. I mean, she is here to rest, and so are we. We wouldn't leave a friend. And if she chooses to stay here, that is on her.
Right. Julius, right?
Yes.
My grandmother is She's 142 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That old?
For gnomes, yes. It's not the oldest, but she's pretty up there.
Julius is just gonna kind of stop with the plate in his hand and just... He does make a show of thinking about it, and he nods. I understand what you mean. The road is a dangerous place. And it scares you that she's out and about, especially for longer times.
No, I don't think you understand, Julius. Irene, my grandmother and I, we only really have each other, and have only had each other this way for quite a bit of time now. I would really hate to see anything happen to her.
Julius is going to put the plate down and look at her. As would I. And he's going to pick up another one of the plates, and he's going to dry it off.
Make another persuasion check.
Ooh, that's a good... Okay. 23.
She looks at you for another moment, and then follows your lead, and takes another dish. There's another moment of quiet.
I think, unless it looks like she wants to say something, like she's going to dump something on him.
You get the energy that she's figuring out how to say something else.
Okay, then he won't say anything right now. He'll let her collect her thoughts.
When she does speak, she says, when you are 242 years old, you require more time off the road when you're recovering from such travel than a group of, I'm sure, fairly hardy young adventurers. And I would hate to see you all delayed while my grandmother needs her recovery time.
Hara, I think you misunderstand why we've traveled together. We're not traveling with Irene for any sort of quid pro quo. This is just... She's our friend. And quite honestly, we went along with her so that she could see the things she wanted to see.
And I have appreciated you helping her out in that way. I don't think you intend to harm her. And I appreciate you getting her back home, eventually. I think she ought to spend a little more time here than might be affordable for you all. Don't you all have to keep moving, take more jobs, do more work? You're not going to find the type of contract work here that is going to keep adventurers afloat.
He just shrugs a little bit. If we were to leave with or without her, that would be a discussion we'd talk to her about first. For now, we're enjoying a little bit of downtime as well. And we won't force her to come with us.
That's not what I'm worried about, Julius.
And you should say what you're worried about.
Yes, because right now you're not.
You're dancing around the point, and I think you should get straight to it so that, everyone's on the same page.
She turns to look at you, Alex, and she puts her hands on her hips. And you don't even need much of a roll. She looks a little peeved.
Well,
all right. Irene is 242 years old. Your mind doesn't work that well when you're that up in years.
I think Nin probably snorts at this point.
I know she's intelligent, she's sharp, she always has been. But I have been living with and around her for quite a long time, and I have watched her start to it's not that she's deteriorating, but I have noticed the edges start to soften. And I worry that she may not be able to make a logical decision when it comes to whether or not she wants to get back on the road so shortly. She is Do you understand?
I do.
I've already told you so.
I understand how you're getting to where you are getting. That does not necessarily mean that I agree with you, but I understand.
I have been her caretaker, her sole caretaker since my mother died. And no, you can't tell her what to do. If it weren't that I thought you all want to go and get work and do whatever it is you do within the next couple of weeks, I wouldn't even mind her having company on her next vacation, but she needs more time than that.
Why aren't you talking to her about this and not us?
I was just going to say, yes, this, as much as I know that you care, this is, being her caretaker is a very big undertaking. Caring for somebody is, it is a big task. And having somebody who's perhaps memory or logical thinking, as you had put it, has been strained for several years, or many. I understand that can be worrying and challenging to deal with. But she does deserve to at least hear this from you. And I have a feeling that you were telling this to us to encourage us to leave without her. And that does not exactly bother me, but it does bother me that you brought it up to us first. I know that you may be worried that her stubbornness may get the better of her. that she won't know her limits. But I please ask that you talk to her first. I know I sound like a complete asshole talking to you about your own damn grandmother, but...
Yes, you do, actually.
But in the time that I've known her, she's been the only grandmother I've known.
She sort of crosses her arms in front of her chest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was really hoping we would all be on the same page when I went to speak with her about this, so that way we would have a bit more of a united front. Because it can be hard on your own to get through the haze that takes over someone when they get that old. But I don't think we are, and that's going to be so unfortunate. I don't want her to get more confused than she has to.
Why do you think she knows herself, or why do you think you know her better than she knows herself?
If she were 15 years younger, I would take that in stride. Really. But she's been losing bits of herself, and she hasn't realized it yet. I don't know if she'll ever realize it. Before there's too much gone for her to realize anything.
Could I make, like, I don't know, an intelligence check or something to see if there's any truth to what she's saying? Like, if I've noticed that maybe she's, like, Granny's repeating herself, or something like that.
Make a history check.
Hold
Can
on,
I
I'm not
try
even
as
on roll
well?
20.
Go for it.
Okay. Because I feel like that would be something Julius would notice.
PK, I might also have you
Ooh, I didn't roll very
included
good.
in this answer.
A history check?
No, I mean, helping me answer this question.
Okay. It's like, it doesn't make sense for me to make a history check here, but okay.
Yes.
And that was just a 12 for Julius as well. He didn't roll very well.
Remember, I'm muted. Parker, do you mind if I make an attempt on that as well?
You may, Alex may.
Aston might not pipe up if he's noticed anything, but
Very fair.
Yeah, history check.
History check.
Okay.
Recall
let's-
granny behaviors and/or symptoms.
Is the gnome senile?
This feels like a Disco Elysium check, you know?
I
like-
know.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled pretty good.
Nice.
That's what's my modifier? It's just 1.
Alex coming in clutch.
that is what I'm checking as well, because
Excuse me. Oh, it's 2. Oh, right, because I put charisma as my. I always forget, like, charisma is my lowest stat. Although it does make sense for Alex has no negatives.
Yo.
He's a king.
Because we rolled really, really well for his stats. which feels real weird.
He's just the best, is the thing.
He's too good.
He is.
He's my favorite.
Joe, what did you roll?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
But I wanted to give other people a chance to answer first.
So Nin and Julius. You're trying to think about it? And you're not sure? There are some things kind of poking up that, like, could have been either some symptoms of the earliest bits of dementia, or could have been her personality. If they were dementia, they wouldn't be surprising. Alex.
Hello.
What you're thinking of, you can't think of anything in specific that is, like, glaringly obvious. But then you also think about Granny has said that she used to be a university librarian, which is a role that takes a lot of knowledge and adaptable thinking and research skills. So it's entirely possible she may have lost some things, but that she had just been at such a high position beforehand that she just kind of is like a normal functioning now, if that makes sense. Maybe? It seems a little weird.
Yeah, and also, like, I wouldn't necessarily call forgetting how to be a university librarian after decades of not being a university librarian like a concerning memory slip.
Aster, I'm gonna text you privately.
Oh no.
Great.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Can't wait for Joe to find out if Granny's senile or not.
When your granny's senile,
Here's the
am I
thing.
right?
I, as Joe, don't necessarily think you would have done that without potentially content warning us, because it can be a really confronting thing.
Yeah.
Y'all, do you guys want to see a fucked up number? This is unrelated.
Yes.
Always.
Also, I'll be right back.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, I don't like it.
That's
Oh,
bad.
what the fuck is that?
That's far too many lines, I think. That's too many numbers for a number.
Oh,
That's too
wait.
many...
Oh, is this one worse?
That's
Yeah, this
not a
one's
number.
worse.
That's a
That's a physicist hate crime.
It's not
See,
a number. That's the
like,
domain of a function.
there is...
What's the number?
I don't believe that's a number.
Oh, wait. Okay, this one is a number.
Muscle.
I mean, there are numbers on there. I can't argue with that. Goose sex.
Not goose sex.
Goose sex tool.
What are these?
My feel when. Nope.
Why?
Do these also
Thank
have
you.
corkscrews, or is that just a duck thing?
That I don't want to look that up.
Me neither. That's why I was
what
asking.
Also?
Do
Do geese...
geese have the same situation as ducks?
Fuck it, I'll look it up.
Please let us know.
Curiosity.
Thank God for
Because-
you.
Thank you for being
really-
braver than me.
I really want to know. Yep, they do.
Oh god.
Okay.
Terrible creatures.
All right.
Oh, I've just learned that chickens
Oh.
don't have them. Don't have penises.
What? Okay. Well, good for them, I guess. I don't know.
Don't need them.
You have to balance out the ducks and the geese. Like you have to make a sacrifice somewhere.
Why is this sticky? Why is this sticky?
Oh, there's images in this article.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no!
that, the goose image, way worse than the duck.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
And they are right. Chicken and quail do not have them.
God bless.
Good, I think.
I,
No, I sent it to you.
Thank you.
I
was
don't
just
know
waiting
what to
for-
do with this information now that I have it.
Hold on to it for dear life. I
I
guess.
Wait.
evidently suffer with it.
Wait for the best possible moment to get that information
Yeah.
out.
Drunk facts.
Drop it.
I was gonna say whip it out and then, you know.
No.
bad way
If you
to
were
say
chicken,
that.
you couldn't do that.
Yeah, true. L, I guess.
If you, that has two connotations. Don't be a
Big
chicken.
old L for the chickens, I
Yeah.
guess.
Literally.
Hmm. I don't know what Asta wants to do with this information.
Is it good or bad?
Don't be a snitch.
Nico. It's good in some ways and concerning in some others, but I don't know what he wants to do with this information.
This point is sort of like grabbing her little shawl, and she's like, I'd really like you to maybe think about some things and think about my grandmother's safety, and maybe we can have another conversation.
You can always have a conversation.
Lovely. And she turns, and there's this moment where she's looking out the front window. And you see her kind of, her expression change very suddenly, going from kind of this sort of stony, set stubbornness to this moment of surprise.
What is she looking at?
You look out the window. She's looking across the street at her house, and you see somebody sort of standing in the, like, little, like, yard gap between her house and the neighbors, and he's kind of leaning up against the wall, and he's got a couple of crates stacked next to him, sort of tucked into the wall, like next behind him. And she goes, shit. Or it just kind of goes, shit. And then tries, like, in the next moment, that's all gone from her face.
Mm-hmm. Julius
she
raises
looks
an
up-
eyebrow at her.
She looks over you and she goes, I'm getting someone's delivery for something. A friend of mine's out of town. They're fucking early, god damn it. And she sort of heads out the front door in a little bit of a huff. do you watch her go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Asta wants to sort of watch her go and see if he can get a sense of what the conversation is. Like, I know won't be able to hear anything, but you can get a lot from, like, body language and
Actually,
expression.
Nin might cast invisibility on. Is Ix? I mean, Ix is here, but
Ix is here, yeah, but T-posing in the corner.
yeah. And either herself or I mean, she'll cast it on both herself and Ix because she gets 2 anyways. But
On herself and who?
and Ix.
Okay.
Gonna go sticky beak to the conversation.
Yeah.
Those of you who are staying in the house, make me a perception check. Those of you, Nin, could you make me a stealth check with advantage?
Julius is going to give you bless as well as you leave.
Oh yeah.
You and Ix and probably himself, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't matter who.
Bless is a D4, right?
Yes, it's a D4.
24 total.
Ooh. Okay, I'm glad I gave myself a D4 for this. Oh no, is that just a...
Perception to the house.
Sorry, Ix. Ix also gets bless.
Damn it. Oh wait, no, this...
I reroll. What are...
You're rolling a perception, Alex.
Yeah,
Okay.
my perception wasn't very good. Oh wait, no, that wasn't the right number. I rolled not so good.
We don't see shit.
Yeah, we are shaking hands. Too distracted by the dishes.
I'm gonna roll a couple of checks. Or I'm gonna check.
Roll bad so we can see what's going on.
I am a nosy bitch. I want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
This is probably not relevant to anything, but
Okay.
Oh, it's probably extremely relevant.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with anything.
Totally not.
So those of you in the house, you see Ara kind of quick, not like quick step in like a mechanic sense, but like that like power walk.
Yeah. Stride over there.
Talking across the street walk.
Middle-aged white woman power walk.
She's got the stride.
She's got the stride. And her back is turned to all of you, but you can see the guy by the house kind of like lean up and then kind of like lean back a little bit. And you see him respond, and as she gets closer, she kind of stops in front of him, and the hands on the hips, and you can tell she's kind of like upset with him, frustrated a little bit. But you don't know exactly what about. Those of you, Nin and Ixalia, who are invisible, are out Granny's back door and around, and by the time you make it over, it's been a couple minutes of conversation, and just you hear the guy talking, and he goes, "Well, it came in early, and you hear her go, cool, excellent, happy for you. I was told that," and he goes, "Hey, look, not my fault that the mail came this early." And she's like, "Actually, I think it is." And he's like, "I am literally just carrying your packages."
I am just sitting here, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
and you hear her huff. And then she sort of gets around him and sort of looks. These two crates, which stacked up are like about her chin height, sort of huff again, and then there's a split second, Nin, where you see her jaw clench and you swear. As she's turning back to talk to this fella, her eyes go right over where you're standing.
Ooh. Like she can see me?
Her gaze goes right past as she's turning to talk to him, but it feels eerie for a second. And then she goes, well, can you at least make yourself useful and help me get them inside? And he's like, listen, Miss Marvin. And she goes, I don't care. You're already before schedule. You can help me. And she picks up one of the crates and carries them around the front and into the house. And he kind of, she's fucking always something with her. And leans down, picks up the other one, and follows her in the front door.
Sorry, Granny. Both of your children are involved in crime.
Babes, we very much already knew.
Yes.
That my granddaughter was being blackmailed. We knew that part.
We knew that one.
I need to go to my showing, but have fun, play nice.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Do good.
You'll do great. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And the front door shuts behind her and the other fella, and you two are standing invisible on the street.
Well, that was weird. I guess
Ixalia agrees with you.
I think Nin is a little shaken by the fact that she might have just been able to see through her invisibility, and maybe doesn't want to tempt fate with that, but
Ixalia does suggest they go back.
okay. Yeah, she'll head back then.
And all of you who are watching through the window, you can see them pick up and go inside her house. And a couple minutes later, the fella sort of coming back out the front door and heading back down the street, and you can see off to the side there is a small, like rickshaw cart with a couple other things inside that he picks up and goes back up the street and disappears behind some houses.
How big was the box?
There were two, and they both stacked up to about her chin level. They were about the same size.
And remind me, she's
she is
elf, right?
5'2".
Okay. Yeah, so she's not
Ashes height.
Yeah, she's a half elf.
And there wasn't any like identifying markings on them or anything. Nothing to.
Nope.
Okay, didn't think so, but
Doesn't hurt to check.
do we know that?
Julius knows that it was the granddaughter that was involved. None of you, the rest of you, know that shit.
Yeah, and Julius hasn't shared it because he assumed that it was just like, you know, Granny's thing, and he didn't really want to mess with it, unless needed.
Okay. Yeah, it just seemed like a weird delivery. She seemed kind of mad that it was early, but I didn't see anything weird about it. She might have been able to see me, though, when I was in
Oh!
which is weird, but I don't know, maybe she has, like... Maybe she has magic too or something. Or maybe she has, like, a special ring or a necklace or something.
Strange.
A lot of those are options, but if she needs something like that, it's okay. It's not a difficult spell by our standards. Being able to see things that are invisible. It's not a difficult spell.
Well, that'd be True Sight, wouldn't it? Or is there something else?
No.
There's also see invisibility.
There is
Oh,
a
okay.
spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And see invisibility is, I think it's like a second level spell.
It's the same as minor invisibility, yeah.
Gotcha. I guess
Yeah,
that's
so,
true. Why would she just have it going?
They're very popular spells for home security, and Asta kind of makes a gesture like there are other examples. I just can't think of them. That almost as hard to get as Amulets Against Detection and Location, because invisibility is such a useful spell to be aware of and be protected from. Parker, I hope you don't mind me adding that bit of world building. It is something that makes sense to me.
No, you're correct, actually. You've read my world building doc.
So, if she has that always, then there's a reason. Or she knows the spell and is really paranoid. She also might have gotten lucky and heard something. But I've heard how you and Ix move, and that doesn't...
She does kind of seem like the paranoid type.
Like the what?
The paranoid type.
I as Joe didn't hear.
She kind of does seem like the paranoid type, doesn't she?
Yeah, I bet. That's another thing that's a bit weird.
Maybe she just had it going and she thought, she doesn't seem to trust us all that much. Maybe she was just, when she came to visit, she, had it already going.
Maybe.
I think she made up her mind about us the second she saw us.
It wouldn't
I think
surprise
so
me.
too.
I don't think there's anything that we can say to her that'll give her a higher opinion.
I know Granny loves her, but I don't like how she talks about Granny.
There is a merit to her saying some of that, but she is not within... Julius seems like he's struggling for a moment, and he's just like, shakes his head. She's not at the point where she's unable to make her own decisions.
Yeah, she wants us to what? Manipulate Granny into staying here?
She wants us to keep Granny here and not go gallivanting along with us because she believes that it is...
Bring something up?
Of course. Go for it, Esther.
Aris does seem sincerely convinced that Irene is on a decline. But I've been taught some of the symptoms to look out for. And the times that I've seen things that resemble them, it almost... It rings to me like... He makes a frustrated gesture like he can't figure out the words at sort of the entire... at his entire self. The whole, 15 thing. But there may be some kernel of truth, but I doubt it.
Also, you can exhibit, symptoms randomly, and if it's not a big enough of a pattern, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a couple of times you have behaviors.
Yeah, I forget things all the time.
Yeah, I think...
And that's just
Julius
I don't know
just
what that
chuckles
is.
and nods.
That's too many
It's-
letters for me.
No, that's fair.
Wait till I tell
Says
you
the
about
one with
LGBT.
Is that more or
but-
fewer letters?
More. But I believe that you're
out of
correct.
character, because I feel like we might have, but I'm also not certain about this.
I'm having thoughts out of character as well, but I don't think Nid would draw that conclusion.
Yeah. Out of character, I'm asking to confirm something. Have we seen Irene sort of pull up the mask of doddering old lady?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was getting. I
Okay.
think
It was.
like she was leaning into it on
I mean-
purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have seen her lean into it. Again, very much the way that. But
why?
why would she do that at home?
Yeah, why would she make her granddaughter worry like that? That doesn't make any sense. Granny doesn't like when people worry.
Her granddaughter could just be worrying of her own accord.
That's true.
Hmm.
I feel like there's something we're missing here. Maybe Ara had been told something by someone else about Granny that concerned her a great deal, and that's why she doesn't want her to go anywhere away. Maybe
someone else said something is what you're thinking.
either somebody said something or somebody told Ara something bad would happen to Granny if she was too far away. And Granny's little trips make her nervous. And she doesn't trust us enough to protect her, because she's the only one she has left. Now, I don't know if I'm correct, but if I was in her same shoes, I would feel the same way.
I mean, only one she has left seems kind of disrespectful to.
It is extremely
Yeah.
disrespectful, but if you have somebody that you care for deeply like that, you're not going to behave rationally. Not most people will, anyways. Maybe...
Well, I'm not gonna trick Granny into trying to make a certain choice. It should be her decision.
And I'm with you on that one.
And I don't think it'd work anyway.
No. I mean,
Yeah,
Ara's already
she's smart
said it
to get past it.
herself. She's stubborn, and we've all seen that. Granny is very much set in her ways sometimes, which is, I think, acceptable for a person to be. There's things that I've... When we were talking with Soshu, before he, made off, I did hear Granny's granddaughter mentioned.
Oh.
Why?
I have reason to believe that she was probably the reason Granny was so anxious to have Soshu off.
You think Granny's involved somehow?
He just kind of shrugs a little bit. I mean, Ara is definitely involved with something, probably relating to the devils. And Soshu was probably able to do something about it. But that's about as much as I know. I didn't really ask more than that from...
So do you think maybe there was something to that delivery?
Yeah. No, definitely. People don't usually get upset when packages they're waiting for show up early.
I guess that's true.
Unless they're bad news.
I don't want to, dig into... It just feels wrong to dig into this without Granny,
And I agree with you.
But if she's in danger...
Like I've told... Well... I feel like it might have to be something we talk with her about. This is not something I want to pull the wool over her eyes about. Especially since Granny already seemed to kind of know. Or at least have a feeling of what was going on. I don't think she's as senile as Ara thinks.
Well, no, we've all seen her. She's, she's Granny. It's probably the smartest person I've ever met.
Yeah, she's really smart. Like, if she wasn't all that, well, hold on, how do I say this? Like, she's very, very, very smart, right?
Mm.
And like, I guess like, maybe you take off one of those varies, and maybe that's what's getting Ara concerned. Not that she's like proper declining, but just like, she's forgotten some things. But
Maybe.
I mean, or maybe she's just paranoid about her forgetting things that a person would normally forget in that time frame. It's just that she's old. It could be either.
I get it. I mean, she's worried about her grandma, but I don't know.
To her, we're pests and we're doing terrible things to her grandmother and inflicting God knows what situations on her, whatever hell. I don't know. Maybe she's right with that, but I don't think so. Granny chose to come along with us. She could have left us ages ago.
We'd never let anything happen to her.
Julius nods.
I don't like this. I don't even like having this conversation without Granny here.
Yeah. Do we want to table it until she gets back from her scrapbooking club?
Yeah, I think.
I'm just worried that the conversation will really stress her out.
Yeah, I worry about that as well.
But then, what should we do?
I mean, it's kind of, either we keep this from her and we're bad friends, or we stress her out with it and we're bad friends. Lose-lose.
I don't know if stressing her out with it counts as bad friends. It seems like...
It feels worse to lie to her about it.
I mean, we can't lie to her if we just never bring it up. If she doesn't ask.
Nin looks kind of thoughtful at that.
Like, I mean, is it a lie if we just don't say anything?
Not, but...
Because I don't think so. That's just, being quiet.
Yeah, but it still just feels kind of bad,
It is still deception.
Is it?
Yes, trust me.
Yes. Deception by admission is deception.
I've done that quite enough in my life.
And I think that Irene does deserve to be able to make an informed decision. No matter what happens, I think that she should have the tools she needs to make the full decision. At least as much as possible.
My only thing is, I don't know. I feel like she knows more than she lets on, Granny.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, she's very, 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 very smart.
I just don't know if she'll want to accept the fact that her granddaughter is in more trouble, most likely, then what's on the surface or something. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing with shipments. Or for who. It might not even be the devils.
So, should we try and figure out more before we talk to Granny, or?
Well, I don't know.
I would be inclined to say that we should possibly do some poking.
I feel like that's a
but
good
I don't
idea.
want to volunteer anyone's time or skills.
I feel like that's a good idea, Aster, because getting information instead of just giving her speculation would probably help. And he looks at you, Alex, and he's like, I don't necessarily like it, but your talk of not saying anything just for a moment might be okay for that. But any actions we take need to be within at least discussed with her. This is her family after all.
Hmm.
I mean, we're not gonna, like, I don't know. I mean, we're staying here for a bit. We don't have to worry about it until we have to leave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, assuming she doesn't kick us out first.
Okay. Hold on. That if we make her kick us out, we don't have to worry about any of this.
Not Granny, I mean, I can't remember her granddaughter's name right now.
Ara?
Ara, yeah.
See, if she kicks us out, I think we're gonna have some issues. Some
That is
very big
also
ones.
See, that's also true.
Because then she's going to tell all
And I
her
would like-
neighbors to tell them to not let us around, and, I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems
I
like
didn't
more
say
trouble.
I didn't say it was a good idea.
Yeah, that's alright, though. Ideas are ideas. It's interesting to hear all of them, even if they're terrible.
Yeah. Listen. Here's the thing about bad ideas is that you've got to, like, throw them out there. It makes the good ideas seem even better.
Julius has an expression on his face of such fond endearment.
Min is nodding along, like, yeah, this makes
He's like,
sense.
This is Julius's face of this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard, and I love it.
And Min just sitting here like, yeah, that's brilliant.
He's not wrong.
He's not. That's the thing. Oh god.
This is like an active demonstration of that very principle.
Yeah. Julius is having a mild crisis in his mind right now.
Julius is a morosexual.
This is true. I just
Asta
create
is sort of
characters
gonna
are that
look
way.
at Julius.
Go ahead.
Asta's sort of going to look at Julius and... So if the packages are tied to unfortunate dealings, do you have any thoughts on what they might be that would need to be brought out here apparently regularly? Because if she talked about it being early, then it's something that there's a routine to.
Well, there is the thought of, bloodroot. That was something that my people dealt with on a basis. They used to grow that in the rice paddies. And there's plenty of rice fields here. They could just be trying to transport it in different locations. Or maybe it's not drugs at all. Maybe it's... I don't know. Can I roll something for that, Parker? Would I know? Oh, Parker, you're muted.
Sorry. Yes, I was talking to somebody. Forgot to unmute. Yes,
Okay.
you can roll. And I also think Nin asked what Bloodroot was.
Oh. Technically, he'll explain it in layman's terms of it being like a drug. Ooh, that's a really good roll.
Oh, like mushrooms.
This
the funny
one's-
mushrooms.
This is more addiction, and you should not try this in doses that are not prescribed. Or
How much does Alex know about Bloodroot?
Make a history check.
what was I rolling for again? Was this history, or
History.
history?
Yeah, you're also
Okay.
rolling history, but
That's
an
an 18.
Ooh, I rolled really
Okay.
good. Is that a 21? 22. Yeah, I'm a dumb. I can't numbers. 22 for my history.
Okay. We will start with Alex. Bloodroot. Bloodroot's old shit. Bloodroot's been on the trade for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Bloodroot is the plant form of. It's a bright red root that comes from a marshland flower that has sedative properties. A long time ago, and particularly in the wild people's community that you lived in, it can be used relatively unprocessed for mild pain-killing properties.
Mm-hmm.
And it can also be processed into a higher strength painkiller that is used in various healthcare circles.
So fantasy morphine.
It's fantasy morphine. There are ways to process it and distribute it in such a way that it can fuck you up, and it is highly addictive when in processed form.
This is why Julius, when you said, "Oh, like magic mushrooms," he's like, "No."
You want fucking Bloodroot?
It gets its name for being bright red.
Fucking Bloodroot.
And also for being having a history of being very violently fought over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lovely.
But
great stuff.
Unprocessed, if you just like chew the root, it's a really nice herbal remedy for minor aches and pains.
Like poppy seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just like morphine.
Just like morphine.
Just like morphine.
Whoa, guys, let's get us some fantasy morphine.
God.
Fantasy opium, let's go.
Here in Chilas, it is indeed banned, except for use only in certain approved medical spheres.
Mm-hmm.
In other places, it faces much less regulation, but here in Chilas, it is highly contraband. And it can be grown amongst rice paddies as a hidden crop. In the same way some people out here in Ohio will grow weed in the middle of their cornfields.
Yeah, my parents' neighbors do that.
That's
love
nice.
that. Love that for them.
But so Bloodroot's is classic. Julius, your history check.
Yes.
So the Bloodroot trade is of note. Yumsong is a little bit of a weird path to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Because the further north you get from Horitari, the less marshy the land gets.
Mm-hmm.
Though Yumsong is still far enough south that, yeah, maybe it's grown here. You're thinking about the positioning of the town, like next to one of the tributaries for the Horitari River. So maybe it could otherwise be used as a spot for larger smuggling operations, if not specifically Bloodroot. Your there is a chance that like some of the areas around Boratari, sometimes, you know, kind of get thrown up into skirmishes between the devils and the skulls.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's something involved there, even if Yumsong isn't in itself the current battleground. Maybe one of the neighboring towns. It's hard to know specifically what this town, if it's of interest to the devils, what it would be for. It's not a very big town, it's not a very powerful town. Maybe a smuggling hub, maybe a bloodroot growing spot, maybe just a signal of we still have territory out here, fuck you to the skulls. But there's nothing you've seen in Yumsong specifically that makes it unique. Does that answer your question?
I suppose so, yeah. I was also curious if there would have been, like... Well, no, never mind. I was gonna say if there would have been anything else that may have... But I'm thinking the Bloodroot thing is Julius's probably closest answer. Otherwise it would have been that, like, fancy shit that the Golden Skulls are trying to make.
Blue Lightning, yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't even know what that looks like, or...
Yeah, he doesn't know what that looks like, he doesn't know where it comes from.
Also, isn't it expensive or something like that?
It's expensive.
Yeah. And there's not really much clientele for that around here. Unless it's going directly into the city. Or going on boats, which it might, but who knows.
You don't know. You don't know anything about the skull operations.
That is true. Don't know jack no shit. He will relay the information of it might be Bloodroot, depending. A little bit far out of the reaches that it would usually be, but you know. Quiet place like this might make a perfect place to do silent handoffs, especially if it's just to one person. And there was how many boxes? 2?
2.
Yeah, but they're pretty big.
Julius shrugs. She could always be putting it somewhere else, sending it somewhere else, I don't know. I don't have enough information to know anything about it.
Which might be some of why she was angry that it arrived early, because that means that she has to hold on to it for longer.
And with Granny being around, I'm assuming she doesn't want her grandmother to know that she's smuggling things, or possibly doing that.
It'd be harder to hide.
I don't know. This is all speculation from a current criminal, I guess.
It's all a mess.
Okay. So there's the very stupid option.
Ooh, I'm always interested in
like
the stupid
those.
option.
You all are so immediately on board with the stupid option. Should worry me.
We like
Okay, so the stupid option.
Yes.
We could at some point try to have a look at what's in the crates. That would require R to not be harmed.
Come to think of it, we don't really know what she does for a living.
But if she's into some, sketchy shit, then the house is probably all,
There's ways around that.
That's true, I guess.
No, very valid concern, and I appreciate you bringing it up. We can figure out ways around that, particularly considering the brewery that was also the very stupid idea.
Oh yes.
Brewery?
Yeah, that worked out fine.
That was fine. We all made it out. We were totally cool. Nobody got blackmailed during that one.
It's fine.
Certainly not anybody's grandchild.
This is fine.
Anyway. So that is an option. But the problem with it is... Okay. The problem with it is that possibly, and there is a big asterisk on that, possibly something reliable is ask Irene to function as some kind of distraction. Not in that wording, but you... He kind of flaps his hand. You guys get what he means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we need a reason for whoever's going digging to be out of the house, and we need to make sure that they didn't cross the main that thoroughfare.
I don't know.
Also, Nin X, did you guys get a sense of how early it is? How early the package is?
Did we?
You did not.
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay. That's okay. Thank you.
I still don't like doing this without looping Granny in, but...
That is the stupid plan. There are other options. If it was through the mail, we can potentially dig up something through that. Even courier services do keep records. They're just quite hard to access.
That's true. I'm assuming. I'm sure there was a courier service in the Feywild, just probably Nin didn't get much use out of it.
It was dire rabbits?
Yep.
There is in general a whole city for you to explore, but if you want to look for a courier service, you can.
I personally, and I think Alistair as well, are up for tabling this and going exploring and possibly bringing it back to talk about, like, over dinner once Irene is back.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
We got time to figure shit out. It's not like we're on a time crunch exactly. At least not one we're aware of.
As far as we know.
Time.
So I think Asta might just, look, why don't we leave this until we can sort of talk to Irene, figure out how much of this we're talking to her about, and I still advocate covering at least most of it.
Yes, I do agree with that. If she doesn't want to do anything of, like, looking into her own grandchild, that can just be an us job.
Yeah.
This is not something.
And that is also her call, and if she tells us to leave it alone to a certain level, we will listen. Mostly. Aspen does not look at anyone in particular, but also he knows us fuckers.
Yeah. We're too nosy for our own good.
Especially the, 4 of the 5 who are currently in this room. Because I don't think Alex is as much of a nosy bitch, but Julius, Nin, X, and Asta himself are all nosy bitches.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex can't be nosy if he has
That
to be.
is true. He deserves to be nosy.
Make me an investigation check in terms of being able to find a courier service.
Want all of us to do it, or just one person?
In general, I'm also gonna use it to give you information about Unit Zone.
Cool.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm doing my nails real quick.
Oh.
Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
This is, sorry, it was an investigation or?
Yes.
Investigation, yes.
So that would be...
Oh, that should have, yeah. That shouldn't have been advantage, but ignore that. Just take the 7.
7, 19, 5, 18. Okay.
5?
15.
Oh, okay. I got worried. I was like, oh no, we didn't do that bad, did we?
Nin. You have never seen a suburb before.
Fade
You're
child.
like, what is this shit?
Where are all the...
Proper reaction.
Where are all the stores? It's just houses. Why are they all, like, fenced in?
Yeah,
They gotta keep the beasts inside.
The beasts? Does everyone have a beast here?
All of them. All of them have beasts.
Oh, shit.
Julius is in.
She is immediately going off to, like, peek over fences.
I think Athena does poke Julius in the ribs and just...
He's just kind of chuckling a little bit. No, they're not all beasts. Some people have dogs. I wouldn't look over the fences just in case.
She's already gone.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
I've made a mistake, but in my defense it was funny, and he's gonna go after her. No, dear. Don't look into people's fences.
Then you do see a couple of dogs.
Hello, beasts.
Julius grabs you by the arms. Nope.
Hey. I was just saying hi to the beasts.
Do they look like nice dogs?
They look like suburban house dogs.
Ah, so the lab here.
Yeah.
Okay, that one might not hurt you, but
yes.
Sometimes the beasties in the homes
thing,
are not
they
nice.
are either extremely nice or they're not, and there's no in between with suburban house dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They'll either bite your face off or they'll kiss you like a billion times. That's just how it is.
Is there a beware of dog sign, I guess is the question.
There is not.
Okay, then it's probably fine.
One of them looks considerably younger and is more like person. Holy shit, person.
Oh.
Another of them is considerably older and is like, I want nothing to do with this.
Wow.
Whatever this shit is, I'm too old.
Oh, puppy. Julius do love a good puppy, though.
Yeah, she will climb over that fence if you don't stop her.
Yeah, no, he's stopping you from climbing over the fence. He's just like, nope, we don't get to do that now. This is someone's private property, so we're not allowed to go on it. We can find another dog that you can pet.
I'll be back for you.
Oh my god. Julius just quietly whispers, oh my god. He will guide you back to the group.
Much.
Importantly, Nin is my favorite.
Sarah, I will kill for Nin.
Nin beloved.
So with the rest of you,
Yes.
there are a couple of courier services in the town. One that seems to be mostly local. The other seems to be a little bit more high-end for messages outside of the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting shit up and out. That one is quartered in the richer area, particularly where Ondo lives.
Yeah.
The first is just in the city center. city center, for reference, is sort of this small, old-style, like, city square that seems to have been built up a little bit to sort of moderate college town energy.
Fair enough.
Yumsung College, which does exist and you have walked past, is somewhat between the vibe you get is somewhat between a community college and a low scale, like, public university, if that makes sense.
I'm kind of imagining Columbus State, which is something that'll
kind of like Columbus State, but if Columbus State had like one dormitory building and took some like out of city students. So there's kind of got a little bit, particularly right by that one little dormitory. You know, the things a college town needs: cheap groceries,
liquor store,
bookstore, a couple of clubs, and then
a frankly ridiculous amount of small cafes.
And that courier service. And it seems like most of the center of town has sort of been transformed to service the school.
Interesting.
And the energy of much of that part of town is very much centered around the university. And then you get past that area, and then you start getting, like, the people who have lived in Yumsong and are not, like, the people who live in the college town.
Yeah.
You know? Like...
Yep.
Me trying to drive on game nights.
Yeah. Where they're like,
which I know is a different energy, but like...
Where they're kind of like, well, god damn it, but also the school basically funds half our economy, so we put up with it.
Yep.
Me
at St. Cloud State.
So... And then outside of the university district, and outside of that residential quarter, and then you have all the suburbs around it, you have the essentially the city government, which seems to sort of be run out of 3 buildings. Tucked on the other side of town, away from the university. Pretty small city hall, got a small courthouse, and then the treasury building. Which is its own building.
Nice.
Which, yeah, most of the time you see that in bigger towns, but hey, if they're doing that well... But, and then the last part of town is the upper scale part that you saw, that you know Ando lived in. Which is the part of town where A, the government people live, B, the university staff lived.
Makes sense.
And or at least the professor and academic side of the university staff, the faculty.
Yep.
Because Irene very clearly does not live in this part of town. Admin also very much lives over here.
Makes sense.
And there is a small section of town, sort of more towards the suburban area, where it seems most of the locals will do their, like, errands. Like, there's a small market, And then farther out from that, you have essentially the rice fields.
I'm not sure why, but
stretch.
The wealthy part reminded me of Richmond.
Yeah. Correct. But the point being, what was I gonna say? And then you have rice fields as far as the eye can see, right? Seems moderately prosperous, though. Alex and Julius.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you some edges of things where towards that area, in the areas where the locals seem to live, there is a slight change of something, some part of the energy of the town that you can't quite put your finger on.
Oh, was this... Okay, we don't know anything about that.
The devils and the skulls are fighting in the city.
It's... Julius, you're very familiar. You're more familiar with this energy. But there are people who, when they notice that you're there, glance at you almost at the corner of your eyes, tracking your movements. And you all are strangers, and more than once somebody crosses the road to walk on the other side from you.
Makes sense.
And...
Does it?
Yep. This is what would probably happen if Julius would have walked around in the docks area.
It's not that anyone particularly recognizes you, Julius, specifically. Yeah. It just seems more like there are a lot of people in this area who are on edge.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that the college kids aren't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I meant it in the way of, like, these people are, yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, Alex, you spot someone coming out of one of the buildings, one of the shop buildings, looking a little bit more well-dressed than the area. Couple of friends with him. Strutting out of this store. Bag at his side, and he turns, and with his little gaggle of people, walks into the store next door. And someone who had been walking down the road, sort of in that direction when those people had left, sort of stops and sort of pulls back a little bit and watches which way they go, and they turn the other direction and walk to the store ahead, and you see him as soon as when they're out of sight in the store, just keep walking in that direction, pick up his pace in front of that particular storefront, and then slow down once he's past it, but with a couple of glances over his shoulder.
Anything distinct about this guy?
Make a perception check.
I would love to. That's gonna be a 15.
Okay.
large, bald, again, very well dressed. Seems familiar, like you can't put your thumb on it.
Is this the doorman? No.
Huh. Can I try and put my finger on it or no?
I mean, you can't. You can either roll a history check, you can wait to see if he comes down, and you can spot anything.
Oh, wait, is this the guy that went into the shop?
The guy in the shop, yeah.
Oh, I meant the guy who's hurrying past, sorry.
Oh,
But also
no,
the guy,
he's...
knowing about the guy in the shop is good too.
The guy that was hurrying past, you don't recognize at all. He's sort of an average older gentleman, not quite like old in Irene way, but like upper middle age. Looks more like he's just trying to do his day's shopping.
Oh, and is... okay.
Trying to be as non-distinctive as possible.
Alright. So you see, he sees the distinctive guys and he's like, I want nothing to do with that. I respect
Smart
it.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Guy in the shop, I would... I would like to get another look at him.
Okay. There's a cafe right out, like, across the street, that you're able to kind of, like, mill around as if you are a customer or some shit.
Yeah.
And keep your eye on the place across the street. And a couple minutes passes, 10, 15, and at that point, him and his little gaggle come back out. And again, bald, dark skin. Looks like he's had a nice bit of, like, bald head wax, right?
Good for him.
Very, very well put together, very well groomed. The guys with him seem... He exudes a bit of confidence, and like a big thing of confidence, and the guys behind him, it's not that they're unconfident or anything, it's not like they're shirking or scared of him, but there's very much the energy of sort of like, you can tell who's in charge here. And if you would like to make a history check at this point, I will let you. Your DC will be lower since you got more than a glance.
I would love to. 12.
Very familiar, like you've seen him somewhere before. Recently.
Was he at the what's his name? Ando's place.
Yeah, did I see him at Ando's place, maybe?
Maybe indeed you did.
Yeah.
That was one of the guys that popped in. One of the dodgeball guys.
Hey, dodgeball guy! Does he look
think.
like he'd be good at dodgeball?
His head,
Maybe.
His head's so smooth. He's gotta be good at dodgeball.
He's the ball.
Ball guy.
Oh, are we getting communication in chat?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, Kitty. Apologize for communication.
God.
Important message.
Yes.
60.
Nice.
60 what? Come back.
No, he's sulking in the corner now since I moved him.
60 is how much he
Aw.
rates the
Which
boldness.
kitty was it?
It was Miss B.
Which kitty was it who had a message for us?
That's how many
Misty.
points you
Misty.
scored in dodgeball.
Yeah, that's true.
But he exits that store, walks past one building that looks empty, and then enters the next store. The
buildings look empty?
One empty building, and then into the next store.
Oh, well, that's not good.
The bag looks a little heavy. Or heavier than it was a moment ago.
What type of bag is it? Is it just like a satchel or like a...
It's more like a duffel bag.
Of course it's a duffel bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's for his dodgeballs. I'm sorry.
Yes, he's going storefront to storefront collecting dodgeball donations.
I don't see anything wrong here.
There might be dodgeball bribes.
He needs money for the equipment, guys.
Sponsorships for the dodgeball team.
Yeah. They need sponsorships if they're ever gonna make it to the championship.
Exactly, and we want them to make it there because we believe in them.
Listen, they're proud of their dodgeball team, okay?
Yeah.
Pepper.
The Yum song, I don't know, is...
Dodgeball.
The Yum
I
song
love this dodgeball
somebodies.
Y'all,
They want to become
y'all,
the
I
Yum
need to
song
be clear.
somebodies.
I have the barest idea of what dodgeball is.
Well, people throw balls at you and you dodge them. There you go.
It's like,
literally all there
you
is
know,
to
a
it.
beach ball, right, Joe? It's kind of like that, but a little like
Yeah.
more bouncy, like the rubber coating of like a bouncy ball.
Yeah, it's like softer. It's about the size of a basketball, but they're usually softer.
Yeah, and you hurl them at people, and if
Okay.
you get hit by it, you're out. You're basically tagged
Dodge-
out, and your whole goal is to literally just dodge the balls and not get hit. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if you get hit, you're out. It's like paintball.
Okay, none of this answers, I guess, the primary question of why would people do that?
But
Americans.
Yeah.
Fun.
American
Fun.
sports in which you can bully the slow children by hitting them with dodgeballs. And
It
not
helps
get
them
shot
get out
for
their
it.
anger.
Okay, here's the thing. Dodgeball is still fun when you all suck. I think it's something about the primal need to hit somebody else with a ball.
Yeah, like if you're playing with friends, it's fun.
Also, when it hits the wall, the sound it makes is so fun.
Also, like that
Yeah.
feeling when you manage to deflect a ball with another ball that
Yeah.
you're holding is like, yeah.
It's the only time you can actually, you can't touch the balls, you have to, pick them up off the floor or, catch them. Because if you catch it when somebody throws it at you, they're out.
Yeah.
But you can deflect with another ball, and that also works. But if you just hit it with your arm, you're out. Because you'd have to catch it
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah, it hit
It's
you.
great. Anyways, dodgeball aside.
Okay.
This guy's got a duffel bag
Oh.
full of dodgeball.
Oh, Joe, you've seen the Apollo image, right? Apollo gift
Yes.
of prophecy.
Yes, I
That's a
know
that's a
that is the
dodgeball.
type of ball used in dodgeball.
Yes. That's the ball you dodge.
Yes.
Pristine ball.
There's only one dodgeball. We all have to share.
Yeah.
That's
It's like
why
a
those
quantum
games-
dodgeball, you know?
Yeah. God.
I will get back on discussing the thing that is similar to dodgeball that we played later. Right now, we are currently in session, and there is a man who is absolutely not taking security payments from these various shop fronts.
Yeah. I want to. Is there
Speaking
anything I
of,
have? Damn, I don't have anything.
his
I can do.
cabal of friends, what do they seem like? My thought specifically is sorry, brain just fizzled a bit. My thought is what's the kind of build like, and what's the sort of
Big, muscular, strong.
Yeah, that
Okay,
shakedown shit.
that's what I figured. There were two options. There was big, muscular, strong, or weedy little rat bastard accountant types, and both are a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, this is we have sufficient evidence now. Man, Ando, why? I know
we knew.
crime's profitable, but you know,
You're gonna disappoint your grandma.
I wanted to say grandma has no crime grandchildren, but alas, they're all criminals.
All of her children are criminals.
Grandmama.
We can't tell her.
Which I think explains some of how she ended up with us as well, because she went, "Oh yes, these are
more for my collection." This
this is fine.
God. Granny just can't stop adopting criminals. And or having them in her family. You know what?
Okay.
Julius wants to go in one of those shops that they have frequented just to see the general like consensus of like how the person inside is doing after that has happened. Just to make sure this is correct assumption.
You can choose either of the shop fronts, one of which looks like a small tailor's shop. The other looks more like a general store.
Maybe the tailor shop. He'll go in there as like perhaps looking for other clothing.
So the tailor shop is the second one, and you walk in, and there's the little ding ding of like the customer bell, and there are two people in the shop. One who is sitting behind this counter, the other who is sort of standing next to them, looks as though has recently vacated a small stool next to another little like shelf, like a little small table with some fabric on it, because you can see it half pinned together, as if being prepared to be sewn. And the one who is standing seems to be comforting the other one, as the other one just takes a couple of breaths and just, that like settle yourself down after kind of a little bit of a shaking experience.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and the one who is standing goes, I could be with you in a moment, sorry.
It's alright, take your time.
And you see them talking to each other, quietly for a moment, the one who's standing sort of running her hand up and down the other person's back, and
I want to
just passes for a moment before the one sitting down like nods and motions their head towards you.
Yeah, okay. He's got the information he necessarily needs, but he will kind of like take a look at their wares, ask them how much they cost or what services could be provided here, that sort of thing.
The one who is standing and much more able to talk to you, very friendly, very personal customer service, says like, oh, it's our shop. They mostly do tailoring for students, actually.
Interesting.
The one by the actual university is pretty expensive. So they're kind of like a nicely kept secret.
Nice.
And they keep their prices low to accommodate that. And
that's wonderful.
They try their best.
Oh.
Is what you get.
Good for them.
They mostly do business casual. They're willing to try anything, though. They can't guarantee, and they might charge extra. seems just kind of like your average little, like, holding on to business tailor shop in a city.
Yep, that makes sense. Alright, I don't think he necessarily needs anything right now, but he probably will just mention that he'll probably come back in a day or so.
Oh, of course. They're here 7 days a week.
Wonderful. Good to know. He'll kind of like shake one of, reach out a hand and just say, Julius, by the way. You are? Sorry, I'm making you give them a name.
She says her name is Kim Soo.
Kim Soo. Alright. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Are you new in town?
I'm just here visiting. I have a friend of ours who just came back from a trip, and we were there with her, from Horitari.
Oh, Horitari's a nice place. I've been a couple of times.
Yeah, we had just come from the festival, stayed there for a little while, and just left, so.
Oh, the festival. I heard it wasn't... Well, I mean, it was good, but I heard there was some... You know?
It was unique this year. Certainly.
Oh. Well, I guess I won't feel quite as bad about missing it this year.
I am assured, though, that next year would definitely be more of a highlight, I think. High Priestess certainly seems in more higher spirits.
I will put it on my list of things to do.
Right.
And she kind of brightly smiles at you.
Yeah, he'll give her a smile and a curt nod, and we'll head off. He's kind of gotten the sense of what is occurred. And we'll go back to the rest of the group, and it's just, that was definitely a shakedown, poor thing.
Oh boy.
I mean, they keep their prices low for the students, which makes it prime target for people like that to come around. Take whatever they can. Still sucks, though, that they would do that to... I mean, I'm no one to judge.
Yeah.
That was kind of what my people and I did. A little bit. Not that we ever did it to ones like that, you know. Never mind.
Okay, so...
You know, they have a district here, I guess.
What do we want to do with this information?
We don't think that, Ando and I are on two opposite sides, do we?
I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I
That's
think so too.
awkward.
Considering the
Yeah.
distaste that she's already kind of shown him a little bit.
I mean, that would explain a lot, I guess.
Now that I think about it, we really should have talked more to Ando about his cousin. Would have been interesting to see his reaction. Just to see if the feeling was mutual.
You know where he lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would feel real weird to visit him without Granny.
Yep. That would be hard to justify.
Yeah, Julius could, say he wanted more of that wine, I guess. Julius is seriously considering it, like, is this what I have to do?
Will I sleep with a Frenchman to help Granny.
I mean, hey, the thing is though,
Do
he
it.
is a handsome man. Julius isn't exactly opposed, but he is Poland. Not that he hates that, but also the accent.
It's the
Just-
principle of it.
Just gag him.
Hey, maybe he's into it.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Uh-oh, you put that thought in Julius's head from somewhere.
Oh no.
Wait, what did you say? What did Nocturne say?
Just gag
Just-
him.
I'm not wrong.
You're not.
I mean, hey, here's the
But
thing.
you shouldn't say it.
Here's the thing. Julius didn't necessarily hate his company either, so it's like we could discuss architecture.
And that's all you'll
Yeah.
be doing?
Yep.
You can discuss that architecture.
Architecture and how do you like your cousin?
Admire the pillars, you know.
Wow, this architecture's great. Got any wine?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell
Oh.
me about your sister's gang affiliations?
See? God. Bruh, I smell it again. There's a weed smell. Why? Nobody in
Must
this
be the
house
weed.
smokes weed. Yeah, nobody in this house smokes weed, though, is the thing.
Skunk,
that's
maybe?
weird.
Could be a skunk.
Oh, that's true. We do live near a highway. That's so strange, though. They never come
Skunks
out
don't
this way.
smell like weed.
It
They
depends.
do smell like the skunky ones.
Yeah.
Okay, we're also not one to talk. We can't really smell weed.
Oh, see, that'll do it.
We can smell skunks just fine. Weed gotta be literally right on it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, nothing.
That's very fair.
So, and they do, yeah. Oh, one time we had this weed, and it was like, it was advertised. Tastes like fuel. And, oh
Why?
boy.
What? Why
Wow,
would you advertise it that way?
That is.
I don't know why this was a selling point, but goddamn, I guess if that's a selling point for you,
Well,
Smells like
this
fuel.
is, yeah,
Put it in there.
just
So fucked up. Sorry, let me be clear. I think that's so fucked up for a different reason, and that's because, like, okay, it's a thing with certain groups of Indigenous Australians to huff petrol.
Oh yeah, people do that here
It's a
too.
huff petrol fumes, and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So are you trying to sell your weed specifically to people who huff petrol fumes?
Maybe.
I
Oh shit.
yeah.
Did I just
Also,
get that in my
some
hair?
people are like really into the skunk weed, and that's the only kind of weed they'll do. And it's like, why would you do
Fucked
that to
up.
yourself?
do not understand that.
I don't either.
Um,
It's weird.
So
Yeah,
are you
wait,
gonna go sleep with Ando or not?
You know. Hold on, I gotta roll for it.
You have to really think about it.
Tempting.
Yeah, I rolled above a 10. Yeah. I guess he'll go talk with Ando. He'll...
God bless.
You just watch Julius stand there for a moment thinking to himself, and then he just nods and he's like, I think it must fall on my shoulders.
It must be done. It must be done.
I think we
I'm
need
willing to take
information,
the
and I'm
gonna
willing
do
to
it.
sleep with, I think we need information. This is not above my wheelhouse. I'm very good at talking with people. And if something happens, something happens. That's...
uh-huh.
Also, who knows if he'll make time for me. I just... You know, maybe I'm very interested in the wine that we had.
Out of character counterpoint. How would Granny feel about this
Probably not
if she
like
found
it.
out? How would Granny feel about one of...
Granny would be so upset about this if she found out, but also,
However,
here's the thing. It is extremely funny and also a very effective way of...
she would forgive them.
Yeah, unfortunately it is extremely funny.
Yeah.
It is very funny is the thing, and unfortunately, there are a lot of actions we justify with it's funny.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm having a hard time, disagreeing with this just because it's so funny.
Yeah.
There's no downsides.
There probably are some downsides.
There's probably
no
some.
downside.
There's no downsides, you're right.
No, you know what? There's no downsides for Julius. He'll enjoy himself regardless. It's fine.
You know, if nothing else, he's an entertaining guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to Ondo's.
Yeah, we're going to Ondo's.
I'm sorry, Parker.
No, not we are going to Ondo's.
Parker, you just sounded so defeated that moment. Like,
here's the thing about, if you sleep with him for information, he might be more willing to give it to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Also,
especially if you're good.
I mean, yes, that is true.
we all know that Julius fucks like a champ.
I would hope so.
Except for that one time where he booked like 3 hours and came out after like 15 minutes.
Yeah, they think he didn't. He lasted so little, and I'm sure that he did not correct them. Which is so funny to me.
It's not.
This is why Julius adores him. It will just be a great surprise for somebody else later when they realize that it was so wrong. Anyways, we should go. Julius, we'll let the group know. Probably gonna go talk to Ondo. Maybe see if we can have a conversation. I don't know if I should really bring up the fact that I probably know at least who he's working for. Yeah, I shouldn't do that.
Definitely shouldn't.
Oh, but I want to so bad.
It might get you shanked.
Small price to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, also it might get you shanked.
Small price.
It's a shank or get shanked world out here. Yeah. I'll just stick with the small innocent questions for now. He can know I'm a bastard later. Maybe he already knows.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna figure that out soon enough.
Aster! You wound me!
Ashton just gives the most sunshine smile.
Look, maybe he won't be receptive. It's... Not everybody enjoys it. By it, I mean my charms.
Uh-huh. Go, have fun.
Yippee!
Out of character, have we been able to do like a have we been able to do a grocery run for while we are here? Because I think Asta might go do that rather than thinking about whatever this is.
The date,
Aura
possibly.
Aura brought some staples. You can absolutely go and get like more, like less shelf stable stuff.
Yeah, I think he'll also use it as a bit of a chance to get a bit of a vibe check.
We'll go with if he wants the company.
Yeah, he'll take the company.
Everyone else can go grocery shopping while Julius makes a decision.
Well, Julius has a fantastically ill-advised hookup.
Yeah.
I think he's already made the decision.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He might as well.
It's one of those, God, I can't believe you're making me do this. Well, literally not. Well, if it's the only way.
Yeah, literally, that's what it is. Man, I have to go sleep. I have to go entertain a man who's extremely rich and has a nice house. This is gonna be awful.
So, you go to Ondo's.
Yeah.
God,
what am I
you
gonna
knock on the front door. And the door opens, and you see the bouncer gentleman again. And he looks down at you. You're one of Miss Marvin's friends.
Yes, I am.
You see him enter the math dimension.
he just smiles and he's like, is Ondo in?
I'm gonna go ask.
Wonderful.
And he shuts the door.
Julius is just standing there like, oh god, why did I... You know what? I'm sexy and I can do this.
There's a moment or two, and then the door opens again, and he says, come in.
Thank you very much.
I will say, Julius, you get a much more thorough pat down than you did the first time.
Yep, that is fair. Julius definitely would not have been walking around with knives in his pockets. I think the only thing of note would have been, like, the bracelet that he wears, but that's about it.
Yeah. And you sort of get this pat down, and then he walks you through the house. And you go to the same living room that you were in the last time. It's nice. It's it's the same room. You are sat there for a bit longer this time.
Makes sense. I'm not his grandmother. And I did not have an appointment either.
No, you didn't. Before the door opens and he comes in, and he's wearing very similar clothing, very still upscale, but the jewelry is all in place, but the sports prosthetic has been replaced. He has a prosthetic that is sort of styled like those like long up the calf Greek shoes.
Oh my god.
And has gaps in it, but you can see the supporting like through the middle, and then this sort of woven twisting metal that sort of gives that effect.
Amazing.
And he steps inside and he goes, Julius, yes?
Yes, that would be me.
Well, it is lovely to see you again. To what do I owe this pleasure?
And he's gonna kind of like shrug a little bit. I mean, it was interesting company last time we were here, and my friends were just kind of off doing their own thing, and he kind of waves with his hand a little bit. Granny's busy with her scrapbooking group, and really not much else I can do right now. He just shrugs. I figured if you were in, we could chat for a little while, but if you're busy, I can always come another time.
No. I'm happy to entertain. I just, I suppose I wasn't expecting you back on your own like this. I mean, I'm happy for it. I wanted to speak to, any member of your congregation anyway.
Well, of course, you're always welcome to talk with us.
Of course. I just didn't want to drop in unannounced, I didn't want to I don't tend to do that much, unfortunately. I don't get on that side of town very often, so I think showing up unannounced might have been a little, not distressing for Grandmère, just sort of out of the usual. I don't want to cause her any issues if I don't have to. You know?
Very fair.
Well, as yours is intended to be a social call, do you mind if we get a little bit of business out of the way?
Of course. By all means.
Well, excellent. Well, how to phrase this then? I am extremely grateful for the care that you show my grandmother, and the kindness and keeping her safe on such a long journey together. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. I need you to know that. There is now, I think, a bit of a elephant in the room.
Julius is just going to wait, cross his hands in his lap.
Well, I'm sorry, this common is not my first language, so sometimes it's takes me a little minute to formulate exactly how I want to say something and not come across as rude, but you understand.
Julius nods and he'll just say, I don't mind if you're rude. I've already had that discussion with, your cousin.
Oh, my cousin. You've met my cousin.
Yes. She was the first one that we met, when we came into town with Cranny.
Oh, that makes so much sense, she lives right there. Thinking about it, I would have been shocked if you had not met her already. Yes, she is she is a brusque sort, isn't she?
That would be putting it lightly. Can I get a sense of,